Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered what secrets the stars hold? We see constellations named after ancient heroes and gods, but what if those names are more than just myths? What if they're memories? Memories of a time when the heavens were a battlefield and gods waged wars that shaped the very fabric of our universe. Today, we diving deep into the celestial archives to uncover the stories of these epic clashes beyond Earth, a time when gods remembered their wars. Across countless cultures, from the snow-capped peaks of Olympus to the sun-drenched pyramids of Egypt, our ancestors told stories of divine conflicts. These weren't just petty squabbles. They were cosmic battles with stakes so high they could shatter worlds. Think of the Greek Titanomachy, a 10-year war between the old gods, the Titans, and the younger Olympians led by Zeus. It wasn't just a power struggle. It was a generational war for control of the cosmos itself. The myths say the earth groaned, the sea boiled, and the sky itself seemed to cry out in pain. What if this wasn't just poetry? What if it was a fragmented account of a real celestial event? Now let's journey east to ancient India and the epic tales of the Mahabharata. Here we find descriptions of the Kurukshetra war, a conflict so devastating it involved divine weapons, or astras, capable of immense destruction. The Brahmastra, for instance, was said to be a weapon that could destroy an entire army, creating a blaze so bright it was like 10,000 suns. It would scorch the earth, making it barren for years, and poison the waters. The descriptions are eerily similar to modern-day nuclear fallout. Could these astras have been advanced technology wielded by beings we perceived as gods? The texts describe flying chariots or vimanas engaged in dogfights in the sky, and the skies describe flying chariots or vimanas engaged in dogfighting chariots or vimanas engaged in dogfights in the sky, firing projectiles that could level entire cities. These accounts, preserved for thousands of years, read less like myth and more like a historical record of a highly advanced and devastatingly destructive conflict. The theme of celestial warfare isn't limited to Greece and India. In Norse mythology, the prophecy of Ragnarok foretells the end of the world, a final, cataclysmic battle between the gods. Odin versus the wolf Fenrir, Thor against the world serpent Jormungandr. This isn't just a story of doom, it's a cycle. After the destruction, the world is reborn, and a new generation of gods emerges. This idea of cosmic cycles, of creation, destruction, and renewal, is a recurring motif. Could these myths be a cultural memory of a real cycle of stellar events? Perhaps a recurring galactic war, where civilizations rise and fall, leaving behind only faint echoes in our oldest stories. Let's look at the evidence in the sky itself. Astronomers are constantly discovering signs of cosmic violence. Supernova remnants, the beautiful gaseous clouds left behind by exploding stars. We see galaxies colliding, tearing each other apart in a gravitational dance that lasts for millions of years. What if some of these events weren't purely natural? What if they were the aftermath of battles on a scale we can barely comprehend? The asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter has long been a source of speculation. Some theories propose it's the remains of a planet that was destroyed, while the leading scientific explanation is that Jupiter's gravity prevented a planet from ever forming. The exploded planet hypothesis is a tantalizing thought. Was this planet, sometimes called Tiamat or Maldek, a casualty in an ancient solar system war? Consider the Anunnaki of ancient Sumerian texts. These were beings who from heaven to earth came. Zechariah, Sitchin's translations of these cuneiform tablets describe the Anunnaki as a technologically advanced race from a planet called Nibiru. They came to Earth in search of gold, and the texts detail their internal politics, their rivalries, and their wars. One of the most famous tales is the Enuma Elish, the Babylonian creation epic. It describes a colossal battle between the god Marduk and the primordial goddess Tiamat, who is depicted as a watery monster. Marduk slays Tiamat, splits her in two, and uses one half to create the heavens and the other to create the earth. What if Tiamat wasn't a monster but a planet? And Marduk wasn't a god with a magic net, but a celestial body or a massive weapon that collided with it, creating both the asteroid belt and our own world. This theory suggests that humanity itself might be a product of this cosmic conflict, genetically engineered by the Anunnaki to serve as a workforce. Our myths of gods walking among us, teaching us, and sometimes fighting over us, suddenly take on a new, more literal meaning. The stories of demigods, the offspring of gods and humans, could be a memory of genetic hybridization. The wars of the gods then weren't just distant celestial events. They were fought right here, and above our own planet, with humanity caught in the middle. Let's connect this to physical artifacts. All over the world, we find structures that defy conventional explanation. The massive, precisely cut stones of Puma Ponku in Bolivia. The intricate network of underground cities in Cappadocia, Turkey, capable of housing tens of thousands of people. Were these simply tombs and shelters? Or were they built with lost technology, perhaps as fortresses or bunkers to survive a war that raged in the skies above? The famous Nazca lines in Peru, giant geoglyphs visible only from the air. Were they messages to the gods? Or were they something more functional, landing strips for the vimanas and celestial chariots described in ancient texts? Even the very structure of our religions might hold a clue. The concept of a battle between good and evil, light and darkness, is a cornerstone of many faiths. God versus Satan, Ahura Mazda versus Angra Mainyu. Is this a metaphor for our own inner struggles, or is it a deep-seated archetypal memory of a real galactic duality? A war fought between two opposing factions of powerful beings, with Earth as one of their many battlegrounds. We, humanity, might be the descendants of a forgotten colony, the survivors of a long-lost cosmic war, our history erased and replaced with the allegorical tales we now call mythology. The gods remembered their wars, and they told us about them. They told us in stone carvings, in epic poems, and in sacred texts. They warned us of weapons that could boil the seas and turn the land to glass. They showed us flying machines and described battles in the heavens. For centuries, we've interpreted these as fantasy, as the imaginative ramblings of our primitive ancestors. But what if we've been missing the point? What if we are a species with amnesia, living amongst the ruins of a forgotten age, and our myths are the breadcrumbs left behind to help us remember? Remember who we are, where we came from, and the incredible, violent, and magnificent history of the cosmos that is written not just in our books, but in our very DNA and in the stars we gaze upon every night. The clash beyond Earth may not be over. It may just be in a lull, and the memories of the gods serve as both a history and a warning. Thank you so much for joining me on this cosmic journey today. What do you think? Are these myths just stories, or are they echoes of a forgotten reality? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this exploration into the unknown, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries of our past. Until next time, keep looking up.